Alright everybody, let's talk about our question of the week for this week, and it comes from us from Iowa, from Scott, and Scott is asking, can I start day trading with $25,000? Well, Scott, obviously it seems like you know the pattern day trader rule, and for anybody who's not familiar, the pattern day trader rule, and you'll have to forgive my scribblies here, which are really bad, but basically the SEC is regulating trading, and they want everybody to be safe, and they want to keep away people from the markets who may be more prone to losing money, you know, beginners, people who don't know. And so they established this pattern day trading rule where you have to have at least $25,000 in a brokerage account in order to be a day trader, in order to, you know, buy a stock the same day and then sell it the same day and then rinse and repeat for as long as you want to. Now, the only way to circumvent this is if you have, if you have less than 25,000, is to only do about 4 such day trades, I believe within 5 days, within a week. You can't have more than that, okay? Anything more than that, you need to have at least $25,000 in your account. And once you have $25,000 in your account, those retail brokerage firms, like E-Trade, TD Ameritrade, Scottrade, they give you 3 times more than that in day trading power. Okay, so in other words, if you had $25,000 in your account, these guys are going to give you an intraday loan of $75,000. So together you have $100,000 to day trade. Okay, pretty good, right? But my question to you, Scott, is, why do you want to stop at 25,000? Okay, I think you need more than that. Okay, first of all, what I need to say is, if this is your last penny, if you're saving up your last penny to get to $25,000, stop right there. This $25,000 has to be money that you would be okay losing. In other words, if this $25,000 turns into zero the next day, you have to be okay with that. Why? Because you have lots of money elsewhere in your savings account. Maybe your mortgage is paid off. Maybe you have a really good career. So this is just something you kind of do for fun, okay? And that's the way you have to consider it when you're starting to day trade, okay? You can't just basically take out everything you have in your savings account and just basically have this countdown. Okay, I have $24,000, I have 24 and a half. Oh my god, I made it to 25. Let's go out there and open up an account so I can get this $100,000 in day trading power. Okay, so if you're in that boat, then stop right there. Okay, you're not meant to day trade. Okay, you're not supposed to put in your last penny into an account just so that you can get this day trading power. However, if you are somebody who's on the right track, somebody who is willing to lose that much money, okay, and is just trying to see if day trading works, okay, then $25,000 is okay. But at the same time, I have to advise you that you should probably have more than $25,000, okay? So let's say you go out there and you put in $25,000 and you get this pattern day trader status, and now your brokerage firm is giving you more money, okay, basically this loan, this intraday loan of $100,000, okay? And if you're smart, you're not gonna go out there and take all of this $100,000 and invest it, okay? Margin is not meant to be used for the max, okay? A lot of people misunderstand that. A lot of people, they see this margin that they're given by the broker and they go all in. They'll go in and put in like 99,000 into one trade. No, especially if you're a beginner, do not do this. Don't do this, okay? I usually personally, even though I know what I'm doing, I rarely use more than twice of what I have. So if somebody were to give me, $25,000 and I was given the option to execute trades up to 100,000, I wouldn't do more than 50,000. Okay? And this is somebody who actually knows what she's doing. So imagine a beginner, okay? You as a beginner shouldn't probably use margin at all. Maybe a little bit once you kind of prove to yourself that you're able to do this, okay? But in the beginning, don't use margin at all, okay? Ignore this, okay? So don't just go out there and get $25,000 just so you can get $100,000 in intraday buying power, okay? Not for a beginner. It's not meant for you. But if you basically invest, or if you put in some sort of intraday trade, and I don't care how much it is, it could be 25,000, it could be, you could be using part of this margin. But let's say your first trade you lose $200. Your account is now worth $24,800. Okay? What happened? You have lost your pattern day trading power. You have lost all of this. Okay? You cannot use this margin anymore. Okay? Maybe they'll give you some other margin which is much smaller, but I don't think you deserve it, right? Because you just had a losing trade, okay? But you need to give yourself enough money so that you can absorb several losing trades in a row. So let's say you have another one that's 300 in the negative, okay? And sometimes people allow themselves to have even bigger losses, okay? And watch lesson 1 and 2 on how to avoid this, okay? So basically what people go through when they begin trading is something called a drawdown. And I probably shouldn't be writing this with my pen feature because I don't know how to. But a drawdown basically is how much money you are down in your account, okay, by how much money you are down in your account before you turn a profit, okay? So in other words, this could be your learning curve, okay? So these are all your added, silly losers, okay? Some are because of your psychology, some are because you weren't disciplined enough to execute your stops. Some are because you just don't know, because maybe you didn't, you're not proficient enough at some sort of pattern or reading volume trends or momentum or something like that. So this is your drawdown. Okay, now even the biggest professionals have drawdowns every once in a while. We just have our bad days, and that's okay. As long as you're sticking to your plan and you're being disciplined so that you're not having big losers, but rather, these small losers, that's okay. We're all going to have drawdowns. But what I'm saying is you need to kind of have more money than 25,000 to make up for these potential drawdowns, because there is nothing guaranteeing you that you will turn a profit, okay? So it really depends. My answer to you is definitely you need more than $25,000. Now, personally, when I started trading, okay, I started with $25,000. I was just like you, and I just wanted to go out there and trade and have my margin from my broker. From my experience, I think you need at least 30,000. Okay, 30,000 if you're not a beginner. If you're an intermediate and if you're disciplined, you need 30,000. If you're a beginner, guess what? You need a lot more than that. You need 35. And if you're not very disciplined at all, maybe even 40,000. Okay? So there's your answer, Scott. It really depends on who you are as a person. It really depends on your discipline. Okay, really. That's all it is. It's all about your discipline. How big are your losers? Okay? And how much do you know about the markets? If you know, if you're very good and you know what you're doing and you already have a plan and you're consistent in your profits, then 30,000. If you're a beginner and you're still learning, a lot more than that. Now, having said that, if you're a beginner, you shouldn't be taking big trades anyway, okay? So don't go out there and put in everything you have into a trade. If you know for a fact that you have a lot left to learn, don't use this margin at all, okay? Maybe even don't use everything that you have, okay? So, you know, it's better to have these small profits. So even if your profit is $20 after commission, who cares, okay? It's okay, because then your loser, okay, shouldn't be more than $20 either if you kind of use the risk and reward ratios, okay? So your loser should never be bigger than your winner, okay? So this is a lot safer for a beginner, you know, than maybe losing 200 and then you know, gaining 200. So if you're a beginner, start small. It's okay if you make $20 on a trade, okay? Don't go out there and use your full account on your first trade. And remember, all traders, you know, it doesn't matter if they're beginners or professionals, eventually get into this drawdown zone, okay? They have bad streaks, bad luck, maybe they don't know how to read the markets at that time. So definitely make sure you have more money than $25,000. You don't want to lose this status after your first losing trade, okay? And I hope that answered your question, and if any of you have any other questions for our question of the week segment, make sure to send them to info@tradethesestocks.com.